please stop yearning. Before we start this video, I want to tell you guys the textbook definition of yearning. A feeling of intense longing for something, typically something that has been separated from you or that is unattainable. I hope that sentence in and of itself highlights how respectfully dumb yearning is. You want something that you can't have, and that makes you want it more. The idea of yearning has been so normalized and so publicized in today's world. It's something that, you tell somebody you're yearning for the girl who broke your heart. You're telling somebody you're yearning for the guy who rejected you 3 months ago and is now happily with another girl. And, it's like this little quirk. It's like this little quirk that you have, that you're yearning for somebody. But I'm here to tell you, it's not a quirk. It's not something funny. It's not something that, you should even respectfully joke about. It's something that you seriously have to stop doing to yourself. We're too comfortable with the idea of yearning. We're too comfortable with the idea of desiring something or someone that we know we can't attain. Or maybe that we know is bad for us. I think I've had a pretty rough experience with the idea of yearning. Yearning will not lead to you having the love of your life. It will not lead to you having the girl, boy, partner of your dreams. It will only lead to pain. It'll only lead to self-inflicted suffering. Why do you want to self-inflict yourself with that? Why do you want to do that to yourself? What's the point in that? What's the point in yearning? Let's stop yearning culture. Let's start moving on. I don't know, just like the general idea of moving on. Before I get into, I think, how to move on from someone that you might have been yearning for, I want to tell you guys a little story. It's about this girl that I met in the 7th or 8th grade. This is where I learned very early on in my life that yearning, in my opinion, is one of the dumbest things you can do for yourself. And again, I'm not only using my 7th/8th grade self as a case study, I'm also using friends and family and, genuinely dozens of people who've been through this, who've told me their stories about how they're quote-unquote yearning. Or maybe the thousands of TikToks I've seen over the last couple of years about it, and how people just keep sharing their stories about how they want to be with somebody, but they can't be with them, or they can't have them. I really like this girl more than anybody I had liked up to that point. And I didn't really have a great reason for it, but internally I just felt like I liked her. Maybe even that I loved her. We hung out quite a bit, and I think she knew that I liked her, but it was weird because even though we were kind of flirty with each other, it always stayed platonic. We never crossed a line, the flirty line where you maybe say something that's a little bit into in the red, a little bit too flirty. We never crossed that line. It was always very friendly banter, and we went out with each other a couple times, especially after I started asking her out. But obviously I asked her out as a friend because, frankly, I was scared. But one day I finally mustered up the courage to tell her. And I just remember being on the bus on the way back home from school and texting her how I felt. She kindly rejected me, even though we had spent months talking to each other. Turns out she'd only seen me as a friend, which is fully okay. However, what's not okay is that there were people who respectfully weren't that nice in middle school that were looking over her shoulder on the school bus, and they saw everything. They made fun of me. They made fun of her. I felt so bad for her. They kept teasing us in class, saying, "Oh yeah, don't you want to go hang out with your boyfriend?" And I just could see the sad look on her face because she really did her best to let me down easy, and now she's still feeling the repercussions of it. So anyway, I decided to still be her friend. Now, I'm not being her friend in good faith. I'm not being her friend because I like being around her or because, because frankly I want to be her friend. I'm being her friend because I potentially want to be her lover later on. So I ask again. After, again, going out to the movies and going out to the mall one-on-one, solo, and at this point she probably knows about my feelings, but she's still leading me on in a way. So again, we go out, I tell her how I feel, she says no. I go, okay, that's right. I guess I'm just a friend. So again, perpetually stuck in the friend zone. And I remember talking to my friends about, how good she looks, how much I want to make her laugh, and how much I like her, and how much I don't want to let go of this infatuation. The problem with the infatuation I had for her was it was becoming toxic. It was becoming self-inflicted torture. I wasn't opening up my options because I was still hung up on this girl who had rejected me. So anyway, Couple more months go by, and guess what? I'm still the friend. We're playing Minecraft alone. We're playing Rocket League alone. We're FaceTiming for hours. You know, we're giving each other advice on life. We're talking to each other about sensitive topics. And again, we're still going out. And, you know, at this point, I think she knows definitely 1,000,000% that I don't mean it when I want to be friends. But maybe she did actually want to be my friend. I'm not going to make any assumptions. There's a very high chance that she was actually fully leading me on, which is a big no-no. Regardless, though, it was still self-inflicted. I knew exactly what I was getting myself into, and just a little piece of advice, when somebody says no, they mean no. So, I asked her out on a solo movie date, like none of the others before. It was a scary movie. I had bought the reclined seats and gotten her the tickets, the food. I spent all of my allowance that I earned, you know, mowing lawns and whatnot. And I took her out. One last attempt. And I say, hey, I really want to be with you. And I really think I could be a good boyfriend if you just give me a shot. And she went, no. I'm sorry, but I'm dating somebody. And I don't want to be with you. You're a really good friend of mine, but I've never seen you that way. Now, frankly, she did lead me on, if I'm being completely honest. But at the end of the day, it was weird. It was weird because in the moment, I can't lie, I was a pretty bad person. Or at least I wasn't a bad person, I was just an uneducated kid. So when I heard that, I immediately called her a whore. Not to her face or anybody, but to the friends around me. I was like, oh, that hoe. She's a bitch. All these fun little buzzwords. And I really do regret saying it nowadays, but also I don't regret it because if I hadn't said those things, if I hadn't had that mindset back then and been able to look back at it retrospectively, I wouldn't be the person I am now. Regardless, though, I think after that, I stopped yearning. After that, I realized, you know, one rejection is enough for me, and I will move on. And it took me a while, but I did. The same goes for my first heartbreak out of a relationship. The same goes for any heartbreak. Your brain will not let you be in pain forever. If you make the conscious effort to move on, I promise you, you will move on. No matter how long it takes. There's no time limit. It could be a week. It could be a day. It could be a month. It could be a year, 2 years, 3 years. But you will move on because that's how your brain works. It won't let you be in pain forever if you don't let it. So next time you're yearning, next time you want somebody you can't have, somebody you know isn't in your life anymore, maybe somebody that's rejected you, I want you to know that it's okay that they pop into your brain. Don't bash yourself for it, but also don't glorify it. Don't be like, oh, I'm just yearning. Maybe I'll manifest it into reality. You're delusional. He doesn't like you. I'm sorry. He's with somebody else. He's been with somebody else for 6 months. Move on. Or at least make the conscious effort to. I'm sick and I'm tired of seeing people act like it's okay to be infatuated with somebody consciously who isn't infatuated with them. And I understand it's hard to control. But trust me, you can control it. You can. People who say they can't are lying to themselves. They're feeding themselves, you know, love soup and saying, oh, I can't fall out of love with them because you're feeding yourself the love soup. You have to knock them off a pedestal. Realize their flaws. Realize your own flaws. Grow and move on. And the last thing, when you're trying to move on, they will pop into your brain. And as I said earlier, please don't get tripped up over it. I remember something I heard in my first ever, you know, therapy session. My therapist said 2 things can be true. You can logically know that you shouldn't think about something or think about someone, but still emotionally feel a certain way. If you've recently been heartbroken, rejected, broken up with, whatever, and they take up a lot of your brain, if day in, day out, you make the conscious effort to go, yeah, you know what, I am thinking about them, but I'm going to try and make the conscious effort to not think about them. Accept what is happening now. Accept what is happening in your brain in this moment, which is you thinking about them, and recognize that you can think up a better future and realize that you can envision a future where you don't think about that person, where you don't yearn for their attention and their love, where you'll never get it. It'll take time. It's not linear for anybody. It's not the same time for anybody, but it will take time and you will get over it. So please make the conscious effort to, next time you think about them, distract yourself with something. Next time you think about them, you know, obviously don't distract yourself with harmful substances or anything, but instead of, you know, yearning, you just go take a shower. You watch your favorite show, you eat good food, you call a friend and tell them that you're thinking about them for a little bit, and then move on to the next topic. Tell them to distract you, tell them to talk about anything else. And trust me, over time, you will train your brain to stop making so many neural pathways connected. It will take time, but your brain is so much crazier than you believe. So believe in its ability to forget. Believe in its ability to move on. Believe in its ability to live without yearning. Anyway, fellas, that's it for me. Hope you enjoyed this one. And remember, we do have a new Discord for the little niche community we've built. I do appreciate all of the support. Really, it means the world to me. That no sub count, no sub number will mean more than the comments you guys leave and the support you guys have, like, just visibly given me. It's insane. Know you're loved. Know you can choose to be kind today, tomorrow, and the day after. And I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day. I'll see you guys later.